Imagine for a moment you're standing in the middle of a freeway. Cars zip past you, too fast for you to even register their make or color, their speed so overwhelming it feels like a personal attack on your senses. But here's the kicker, you're not actually on a freeway. This is your life, your daily existence. And it's been accelerating every second since the Industrial Revolution flipped the first switch. Welcome, fellow carbon-based viewers, to Social Acceleration. Yeah, that book I found while diving into the depths of the digital wasteland, where theory collides with reality so hard it almost breaks your skull open. I'm not here to tell you how things are speeding up. No, I'm here to tell you why they won't slow down until we crash hard. Strap in. Now let me ask you this. Why, despite every time-saving gadget humanity has spat out, do we all feel like we have less time? Hartmut Rosa, this brilliant mind from Jena, Germany, says it's because of three accelerating forces: technology, social change, and the pace of life. Just three gears, turning faster and faster, caught in a vicious loop. Faster tech doesn't save time, it just gives us more crap to do and less of it. That's the paradox he nails in Social Acceleration. It's not that everything is speeding up, no, there's still traffic, long-ass download times, but those three gears, they're the culprits behind why we're always running out of time. The more we invent to free ourselves from time, the more enslaved we become to it. Ever notice how the past seems to slip through your fingers like water, while the future rushes at you like a freight train? Rosa digs right into that feeling. See, modernity isn't about stability. It's about ceaseless dynamism, a term so intense it practically vibrates. This is where Rosa throws Marx into the mix, riffing off his famous line, "All that is solid melts into air." It's the perpetual churn of change that defines your modern existence. We're not supposed to be stable anymore. Stability is old world thinking. Today, the only certainty is that everything will continue to be uncertain. That's where modern life has cornered you. You may think you're grounded, but the ground is quicksand, baby. I had a killer CD collection. Then my car manufacturer had the audacity to stop putting CD players in cars. Streaming came knocking, and I didn't want to open the door. The world had decided music wasn't going to live on physical discs anymore. All that hard solidity of plastic and paper, gone. Melted into air, just like Rosa said it would. This isn't nostalgia. It's reality slapping you in the face. The past is always unsettled, not because you want it to be, but because modernity demands it. You think your job, your music, your sense of identity is solid? Wait a few years. The future is already gunning to vaporize it. So here's something wild. Rosa talks about this thing called the expectation horizon. It's basically your mental roadmap for the future. For centuries, that horizon didn't change much. If your dad was a farmer, you were a farmer. But modernity showed up and gave us the idea that we could be anything. Now we all have this mental picture of what we'll be, and the world keeps moving the damn goalposts. Our sense of identity, of purpose, used to be anchored. Now, it's drifting in the storm. We're constantly forced to remake ourselves, to adapt to the next big thing. Rosa warns that this continual unsettling is screwing with our ability to plan for the future in any meaningful way. It gets worse. In the good old days, pre-modernity, change happened slow. Generations passed, and the world remained recognizable. Then came the industrial boom, and change sped up to a generational pace. Now, change happens within a single lifetime. In your lifetime. Rosa calls this intragenerational change, and it's one of the cruelest tricks modernity plays on you. You're not just expected to reinvent yourself once, you're expected to do it over and over, each time the world pulls the rug out from under you. It's exhausting. Your grandparents worked one job their entire lives. You'll be lucky if you stay in the same career for a decade. And here's the thing, it's not slowing down. It's speeding up. There's only so much a human mind can handle before it breaks. Rosa warns about these critical thresholds of social acceleration, points where the speed of change exceeds our capacity to cope. I'm not saying we're there yet, but I am saying you can see it on the horizon. Burnout, depression, anxiety, they're not just personal issues. They're symptoms of a society spinning out of control. You can't adapt fast enough. No one can. But the train isn't slowing down for anyone. The gears of technological progress, social change, and life's pace are cranked up too high, and they'll keep grinding until we hit those thresholds head on. Here's where it gets downright terrifying. Rosa describes this condition as frenetic standstill. Everything's moving, everything's in motion, but nothing's really changing in a meaningful way. You're running as fast as you can, but the finish line keeps moving further away. It's like being stuck in a treadmill that someone else controls, and the speed is constantly increasing. You think you're progressing, but look closely, and you'll see you're in the same place you were 5 years ago, only more exhausted. More burnt out. We're surfing waves of meaningless motion, waiting for the wipeout. Let's talk alienation. Not in the nobody understands me sense, but in the existential gut punch kind of way. Rosa digs into how this relentless acceleration disconnects us from what's real. Modernity promised autonomy, the idea that you, the individual, could shape your destiny. But here's the cruel irony. The faster life moves, the less autonomy you actually have. We feel like we're free, but we're just following the current, trapped in a river we can't escape. We're alienated from our own lives, from each other, from the world. And the faster the world moves, the more disconnected we become. The political system isn't doing us any favors either. Rosa's got some sharp critiques here. The faster technology and economics evolve, the slower our political systems seem to react. It's struggling to keep up. Governments are supposed to be the ones with their hands on the brakes, but they're too busy putting out fires to steer the car. We're in a reactive loop. Policies and laws are always playing catch-up with innovations they barely understand. It's like trying to slow down a runaway train by shouting at it. So what happens if we don't hit the brakes? Rosa is blunt about it: ecological or political collapse. Those are the two likely outcomes if we let acceleration go unchecked. And honestly, we're already seeing the cracks forming: climate change, political unrest, economic instability. They're all signs of systems that can't keep pace with the speed of change. Either we slow down voluntarily, or nature and society will force us to slow down. Either way, a crash is coming. The only question is when, not if. But there's a sliver of hope. Rosa introduces this idea of resonance, a counterpoint to acceleration. Resonance is about connection. It's when you engage deeply with the world around you, whether through relationships, nature, art, or even just a quiet moment of reflection. It's the opposite of alienation. It's what gives life meaning in the midst of all the chaos. Rosa believes that if we can cultivate resonance, we might be able to push back against the relentless tide of acceleration. It's not about stopping time, it's about making the time we have matter. So, how do you find resonance? It's not something you buy off a shelf. It's in the moments you connect with someone on a deep level, the times you lose yourself in a piece of music or art, the stillness you find in nature. It's slowing down long enough to truly feel life instead of just rushing through it. It's about rejecting the idea that faster is better. Resonance is resistance. It's the one thing you can cultivate to fight back against the alienation that's been hardwired into modern existence. But let's be real, finding resonance in this world isn't easy. Rosa himself is pessimistic. The systems we live in, capitalism, politics, technology, they're all built to accelerate. They don't care about your need for deeper meaning. But that doesn't mean you should stop looking. Even in this high-speed, low-connection world, there are moments of resonance. You just have to fight to find them. And when you do, you're reclaiming a piece of your autonomy from the chaos. So here's my challenge to you. Stop chasing time. Stop running after the next big thing, the next technological advancement, the next temporary high. Instead, take a breath. Look for resonance. Slow down. Because the alternative is a world where you're nothing more than a blur in the rearview mirror of time. Either we slow down or we'll be forced to. Rosa's book is more than a theory, it's a warning. Take it seriously. Thanks for sticking around until the end. And if this hit a nerve, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe if you're ready to hear more uncomfortable truths. Stay connected. Stay resonant. Peace.